Caution, this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. Hey, this episode also has spoilers for Snowfall, like the TV show. Just want to let you know. Shinsen Station was one station away from Shibuya on the Inokashira line. By train, it only took a minute to get there. The station itself was covered by a tunnel, and only light from outside came from the entrance at the end of the platform. Because of the earthquake, all the lights were off. It was far darker than usual. Aoi Sena stepped aside, supporting the body of Kozue Orihara as she walked. There was no need to buy a ticket. There weren't any station attendants around, and the ticket machines weren't working either. She looked over at the rails and saw they were badly bent. Of course, the trains hadn't been running since yesterday. Kozue's left leg was covered in blood. She'd cut it badly on glass during the earthquake. Sena had tried to stop the bleeding with a towel, but the cut turned out to be deeper than she thought. Kozue was going to need real medical attention. Gigalomaniac powers couldn't heal injuries. The pain made your brain realize the injury was real, whether you wanted to or not. You couldn't create a shared awareness that the injury didn't exist. You couldn't make it so it never happened. Your human instincts wouldn't let you. I can't walk anymore, Nora. Kozue said telepathically like she was going to cry. But Sena said nothing. She'd come straight here, to Shinsen Station, on foot. When she reached the empty platform, she suddenly let go of Kozue. With one leg too weak to move, Kozue dropped to the ground. Sena paid no attention to Kozue, who was looking at her in confusion. She was staring at a single point in the platform, teeth gnashing in rage. I finally found you. She was staring at a figure sitting in the far end of the platform. Oh, that's your daddy! A homeless man, dressed in filthy rags. He had a sign reading, "The minds of men will perish." Sena began to slowly walk towards the man. Just who is that message for? Her voice was ice cold. These are my last words, left for those who can turn negative into positive. Sena. The homeless man, Hatano, spoke her name coldly, without even looking up at her. You don't have the right to say my name. I've spent half a year thinking, you know, about how I was going to kill you. Thank you. Why are you thanking me? My reasons are selfish. Dying at your hand may be the best way I can atone. This'll be quick then. Oh, it's a 3D model. Sena real booted her D-sword. She decided to use the method she'd used to kill her father. She'd kill him with a D-sword. Shit, I can't speak. It was simple, which meant it was closest to the truth. How she killed him didn't matter. What mattered was that she killed him. I'm sorry. He still wasn't looking up at her. Why are you apologizing? For making you bear the shame of killing your own father. I'll accept any shame as long as I can kill you. You killed Mother and my sister. I did. And the way they died, it was so awful. Sena's voice had been completely devoid of emotion, but now it was starting to waver, if just a little. I didn't want you to see it. No, forget I said that. Why did you do it? There was no point in explaining the past. You wouldn't accept it, and it wouldn't change things. Sena lowered the D-sword toward Hatsuno's head. So, you're running away again. I was wrong. That's all there is to it. I'm disappointed in you. You were still expecting from me? What? Everything in this world runs on electricity, including humanity itself. You were the one who said that, Senna. Senna's shoulders were shaking. For almost 3 years, ever since Hatsuno had begun the Mana project, the two of them had barely seen each other, and yet he'd seen her through almost instantly. Something felt wrong, but the uncertainty in her heart turned into raging anger that threatened to make her lose control. Senna, don't be deceived. If we're all electricity, then your hatred for me is nothing but an electrical signal too. Hatsuno kept talking. Senna tried to force herself to calm down. Calm down. Nothing you say matters. Don't let your emotions drive your actions. If you do, you'll start to contradict yourself. You mustn't accept those words. They're a psychological attack. Stop making decisions. We're done talking. Senna went to raise her D-sword. But ever so slightly before she could, Hatsuno suddenly stood up. Kozue was watching them nervously. She thought about trying to stop them, but her foot too hurt to move her own. She wasn't sad, but in her heart she was sobbing. Hatsuno walked toward her with broad strides. She was slow to react, so she changed her stand to strike him when he got close. But she went to move. She slipped on some loose stones. She lost her balance. Uncertainty was showing in her movements. The sharpness had disappeared from her demeanor. She was afraid. Hating her father had kept herself from spiraling out of control. But now that she was face to face with him, she was afraid of confronting him. She didn't know why. But she was sure that what she'd said a moment ago was the cause. Hatsuno was running at her with incredible speed. No! She fell backwards, and as she did, she swung her D-sword upward. The blade had no weight, and so no center of gravity. First it cut through the tiles on the platform, then it sliced into his shoulder. The cut was clean, like a hot knife through butter. Senna was pushed backwards by her father's hands. Red blood spilled from his wound. There was a look of relief in his eyes. Senna bit her lip, just as something struck him in the chest. It passed through his body from behind before whizzing by Senna's cheek. Blood poured from his shoulder, but from his chest as well. The crimson liquid spurting from the wound splashed onto Senna's face. A bullet? Senna had fallen flat on her back. She quickly looked up and tried to find the man who fired the gun. You know who it is! Pretty good shot from this. You are right, my nigga. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck you. You killed my homie Vaughn, but shit. I'm like fucking. Who was King Von's op? I'm like the two of them on the phone. When I catch you, you know what I'm gonna do to you? Senna's father fell down next to her. His chest was already covered in blood. Had he protected me? Me of all people? Senna looked in disbelief at the blood spreading across the station floor's tiles. Words are chaos. Heck, Noah. Her father whispered his dying breaths. You're too honest and open, Senna. That's what makes you so sad. And that's what makes me love you so much. The bullet had been aimed at Senna, and Hatsuno had saved her. She'd been trying to kill her father, but instead he saved her life. Damn you! Senna's grip on the blade tightened. Hey, it doesn't matter. The plan was for both the Hatsunos to die here after all. A strange noise was echoing across the platform. Senna instantly realized it was being caused by Noah too. How long had it been there? She felt infuriated at the man with the gun who'd interrupt her after she finally found her father. How dare you interrupt me? As she stood up and looked at him, a baby's cry suddenly echoed across the dark platform. Senna felt something different in her hands. For some reason, instead of a sword, she was holding the rotted, dissatiated corpse of a baby. She threw it away, but then she realized it was her own sister who she'd seen just one time. Senna began to feel uncertain once more. Sitting couldn't take her eyes off of it. She couldn't forgive herself for throwing away her little sister, for finding her appearance disgusting. It had been the same way last time when she'd been forced to witness her mother's end, when she'd seen her mother go insane and die. When she'd seen that, it wasn't just sorrow she had felt. The thing she felt most was disgust. That feeling had lingered in her heart as a sense of guilt. She'd been averting her eyes from it through the act of hating her father. Even if her mind knew this was a delusion, the feelings she locked away inside her mind had awakened, and she was paralyzed by them. And it wasn't just Senna, Kozue was the same way. She saw a huge mirror in front of her, and her own reflection, weeping blood from its leg, was asking her a question. Who are you? Who are you? Kozue was frozen in terror. Huge tears rolled down her face. The wound she wanted to forget, the past she didn't want to remember. Rotted tears were pouring up from her heart. She wanted to run away. She wanted to look away. She wouldn't have to see the mirror. Her body wouldn't move the way she wanted. The girl in the reflection wasn't crying at all. Who are you? Gestalt said fall. Just like when she lost the power to speak. Just like when her mind had broken. The person in the mirror, the one asking the questions, ceased to look like her. She couldn't be sure of the sound of her voice. She couldn't be sure the way of her hair looked. She couldn't be sure the shape of her nose. She couldn't be sure the color of her eyes. She couldn't be sure the thickness of her lips. She couldn't be sure of her appearance. She couldn't be sure of her own face. The vision of herself in the mirror, which had threatened to split into countless fragments, was frozen in place by the sudden voice. I'm Kozue. I'm Kozupi. Her identity solidified once more. Kozue came back to her senses. The huge mirror in front of her shattered. Kozue searched for the voice who saved her, and there, in the corridor leading to the turnstile, she saw him. She screamed his name with a voice she thought she'd lost forever. Her real voice. Kozue yelled with her real voice, not the one from inside her mind. I realized it was the first time I'd actually heard her speak. It was thanks to Kozue that I was able to get this far. I'd heard her screams from help all the way from the police box at Dogenzaka Hill. I followed the voice and turned and found the two of them. Senna and Kozue, trembling at delusions I couldn't see, and Hatsuno laying on the ground covered in blood. I'd finally found him, and it was too late. Looks like today is my lucky day! I love this nigga so much. I can't. Even though now he's evil as fuck, my nigga. The evil cultist from above. Ah! Even now, his voice actor is killing it. He was spinning it with his fingers like some kind of old West gunman. The man was wearing a suit, but he also had a backpack on. The machine inside was making an awful noise. Mamoru Suwa, a detective assigned to Selection 1 of the Metropolitan Police. I'd met him before. And I knew what he'd done. I came here to get rid of the Hatano since they were becoming a nuisance. But Nishijo, I'm happy to see you here too! I'm supposed to capture you if I find you. Who told you to do that? It's a secret! He had a grin on his face. The way he smiled reminded me of Bond, his partner. But the difference was this. Bond's smile was an act, either to make someone let their guard down, or to just piss them off. But Sua's sly grin was a reflection of who he really was. Do you know where Norose is? Listen, Nishijo. Listen, Nishijo. Sua shook his head and sighed. You really need to show me some respect. I'm your elder, you know. You're the one who killed the man named Bond. And if I am? You're a detective. You're not supposed to kill people. You're one to talk. I clenched my D-sword tighter. I don't need to show you any respect at all. You sure that's the attitude you want to take? You know, I could just kill you right here, you virgin. This shit is so unserious. This nigga hit the Adachi. Oh my god. This change in expression looks like the fucking shitty Persona meme when you say Nanako is the killer. Oh my god. And then without taking a step from where he was, he waved the hand that wasn't holding the gun. Takumi! Huh? An impact, pain, a sudden sensation. I looked in surprise at my shoulder and saw... Oh! No, it wasn't a cross. It was a stake. The cross-shaped stakes used in the crucified murder. It was so fast I hadn't even seen it hit me. In the darkness of the station, I hadn't even realized it was coming at me. Sua had thrown it, and from that distance with perfect accuracy. I tried touching it. It felt cold and smooth. Was it a delusion or real? The pain was getting worse. The strength was draining from my hands. I couldn't hold my D-sword anymore. I'll show it to you again. Sua spoke in a cold voice that belied his anger. I'll show you the crucified murder one more time, like the Sonic.exe. Another of the cross-shaped stakes appeared in Sua's hands. He flung it at Takumi Nishijo, barely keeping his raging anger in check. The stake ignored air resistance and all other physical laws. It flew in a straight line and struck Takumi in the arm, like it had a will of its own. 15 had already hit, not one missed. Takumi's shoulder, his arm, his wrist, his hand, his hips, his thighs, his knees, his stomach. Blood was pouring from the deep wounds. It's no fun playing darts if you never miss, but... Another stake had already appeared in his hand. He threw it too. Ugh. It feels like I'm an all-powerful god. It was a very strange sensation, I thought to myself.
Hear me, Sua thought. Sua
the pain from each stake felt too real to me. I'm just a normal person, but now I've got the same power as all of you.
Every wonderful thing that was happening was because of the Noah 2 in Sua's backpack. With this terminal, he didn't need to be close to Noah 2 to benefit from its power.
He could become an artificial
gigglomaniac.
Sua had let the power
given
take
himself
complete
over
control
to
of
this
him.
wonderful power. Sua
was
a
an
brave
insane
soldier, willing
fanatic,
to do
willing
whatever
to do
he had
whatever
to
he
for the sake of
had
his
to
leader
for the
and
sake
his
of his
church's
leader
teachings.
and his church's teachings.
This power is a gift from God!
It lets me fight for the sake of the divine light, for the things I believe in. Sua threw another stake. The stake pierced my neck. The pain threatened to tear my body apart. The pain was maddening.
He wondered just how much pain.
Like torture, death was gradually approaching.
Sua was gradually bringing him closer to death.
I was helpless to resist. I tried to force what strength I had into my legs to keep from falling over.
Sua
More and
flung
more stakes in my body.
Stakes at his body.
My chest, my stomach, my nails, everywhere on my body.
On his body.
The thick, sharp stakes kept hitting me without mercy. You're like an insect pinned to a collection board. And not a rhino beetle or a butterfly. A little brat like you is more like a stink bug. I couldn't even stand now. It was sheer strength of will that kept me from falling over yet. But I wouldn't last much longer. I couldn't see. It was like there were censorship bars over my vision. If you've got any last words, I'll hear them. But make it 10 words or less. Sewell whispered to me with a victorious grin, gripping the next stake in his hand. The next one would kill him. When you called me a virgin. Did that hurt your feelings? I turned my eyes and glared at Sewell, using his voice as a guide that sounded very far away. This is the last one. The divine light won't save you. Fuck! I could sense the stick swung the stake ripping the air in front of me. Didn't you know? The stake would be the fatal one. The stake would be the one that delivered the promised gospel. And the one it would kill was... Virgins have really strong imaginations. There was a dull thud. The stake embedded itself within the forehead. The terrible, overwhelming pain I'd been feeling vanished from my body, like it had never been there at all. I took a deep breath and my tongue ran dry across my lips. There was a single cross-shaped stake in my hand. I looked up to see a cloudy gray sky. From his forehead. The miracle of resurrection is a story, a delusion. What did you do? I pulled it out of my ass. The invasion of one delusion into another, like two wavelengths resonating, canceling each other out, intertwining with one another. This causality another created and altered. I'd switched them. I could see from Sue's face that he thought it was impossible. He didn't believe it. If you're a soldier of God, then die like your Messiah. I flung the stake aside. The light was rapidly fading from Sue's eyes. And one more thing. I don't need your salvation. Sue didn't say a word, yet died on his feet. Hey, future Jace, just make sure at that first line after he says delusion synchronization, make sure to say I pulled it out of my ass when you do the voiceover. Whoever wrote this shit wrote Takumi into a corner and just said, let me dig in my ass crack real quick. Ooh, that smells like a new concept. No, it's not a new concept because delusion synchronization would happen to like everything at the crucified murder with why he saw Remy, but it's still bullshit. I went back inside the station. Kozue was looking at me in shock. From the look of it, she'd seen the whole thing and hadn't believed it. Her leg was covered in blood and it looked like she was in a lot of pain. Kozupi, are you okay? Daijoubu? She nodded several times, still laying on the ground. But she couldn't stand on her own. She looked up with me with shining eyes. Takumi, what did you do? What did you do? Kozue, you're talking normally, huh? Huh? Oh, you're right! She was looking at me in confusion, a finger on her lip. But she quickly had something more important to ask, it seemed. Is it true that virgins have good imaginations? I don't know, ask yourself that. All of y'all are virgins. You're all like... Okay, you're all high... I mean... Not gonna be like, your high schoolers, you have to be a virgin, or your high schoolers, you're banging every guy. Because it sounds weird to say this about high schoolers, but like, you're high schoolers and you're all rejects from society. I'm pretty sure none of you have had sex. It's true. Cinna said that ignorance was a sin, but I didn't think that was true. Ignorance helped you perfect a delusion. If you were ignorant, you could expand the delusion in any direction you desired. You could create delusions you'd never be able to make if you knew what something was really like. Delusions were what versions were best at. Come to think of it, where was Cinna? I searched for her along the darkened platform. Cinna was standing at the platform, body slumped. At her feet was Hatano. Issei Hatsuno, laying in a pool of blood. He wasn't yet moving at all. Even I could tell he was dead. I hadn't made it in time. I thought that I found him. He could tell me where Noah 2 was, but Noah 2 is right next to Shibuya Station. Huh? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that Takumi, since it's next to Shibuya Station, that background was probably used when Takumi was taking Yua home, which is why it looks familiar. But I really feel like that. She was looking down at Hatsuno at the corpse of her father. Just before he died, he sent one last message to my mind. The east entrance of Shibuya Station, the closed-off planetarium at the top of the building. That's where Noah 2 is. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I should say anything to Cinna or not. She'd hated her father. She wanted to kill him. Her wish had been granted, but now she looked so sad and alone. Damn it all. You think you atone for your sins by saving me? Cinna's words were directed at her father, who was now gone. Forever! You admitted your sins, and then you practically committed suicide, as if to shove it in my face. I can't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. Cinna's heart is crying. She didn't really want to kill her dad, Nora. Just like Kozue had whispered, Cinna's strong, tough attitude was completely gone. Cinna looked up at me. Her face was wet with tears. There was no trace of the stern expression that had been there before. It was the sad, broken face of a girl who'd lost her family. I turned toward the tunnel leading to Shibuya Station, leaving Cinna and Kozue behind me. Two big, gaping mouths, and then, beyond them, only darkness. Passing through them would reach me to Shibuya via the shortest possible route. I'm just going for my own reasons. Going to destroy Noah 2, no matter what. Cinna said something I thought, but I wasn't listening. Hey, you should probably say, you bitches need to come with— Oh, it's Noah 2! Kozo Inohana, member of the lower house of the Japanese National Diet, and Yudai Kuramochi, founder and leader of the Cosmic Church of Divine Light, were looking at the huge machine in front of them with satisfaction. It was Noah 2. It was giving off an eerie roar. I was a little worried when you said it would kill 5,000 people. It was a big task getting everything in order, especially keeping the Committee of 300 from fighting out. Thank you for your cooperation. Nodose bowed to them shallowly. But now, this is finished. 5,000 is a tiny, meaningless number. We're seeing the effects already. The cultivation of mankind has begun. The day when the whole world becomes ours is not far off at all. Inohara and Kuramochi looked at each other, sharing an unnerving grin. Nodose watched them, unmoving and unblinking. No, he's blinking. I must say, though, Nodose, you certainly are a man possessed of interesting tastes. Is it because Remy is there? Whatever are you referring to? Inohana gave him a nasty smile. He jerked his head in the direction of the artwork next to Noah, too. And she's gonna be on a cross economy. It's a fine piece of work. Very artistic. I'd like to have one for myself, I think. Man, I sure do hope, if you're in need of materials, I'd gladly offer you a selection from some of my finest believers. Wow, who would guess it's gotta be fucking Remy on a cross? That's a very kind offer you're making, Mr. Kuramochi. Can we just see Remy hanging? What you see is bait. Mad Max, that's bait, gif. Bait. To make Noah 2 more perfect than it is. Well, if you say so, I won't inquire further. What I would like to see, though, is a practical demonstration of just what Noah 2 is capable of. That's an excellent idea. Why don't we have him do it right now? Nodose gave a small shrug. His face was still an expressionless mask. How about this, then? Nodose began speaking, and by the time his sentence was finished, the demonstration had already begun. Inohana and Kuramochi were suddenly holding pistols in their hands. It happened without the slightest change on the part of Nodose or even Noah 2. Amazing, just like the real thing. Almost like a magic trick. It's no mere magic trick, I assure you. The guns themselves are quite real. Inohana and Kuramochi stared at the weapons intently, before giving a satisfied smile. Splendid, really. Indeed, a power to surpass God himself. Hey, let's not get talking too crazy now. I'll keep the gun as a souvenir, I think. Such tiny, unimportant little men. Nodose's whispered, unheard by the other two. Now, let's discuss the rest of our plan. Do they really think that Nodose is gonna let them live? First, we need to eliminate the Committee of 300. Nodose, you've done excellent work. We'll contact you later with your next task. The two went to leave the planetarium, both satisfied and pleased with themselves, but there's no need for that. What? What do you mean? Only then the expression on Norose's face changed. Hey, he has the fang tooth. Yaiba. Right? Well, that's how it's portrayed in shows. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out my ass. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I saw a YouTube short about it, so I wanted to say the word. Hashtag fake otaku. His eyes narrowed and he tilted his head very slightly to look at them from a height. He was looking down on them, both in a physical sense and in sheer contempt. I will take over the plan from now on, but not for the petty goals that you espouse, but for a more noble idea. Nodose's words were completely polite, but both Inohana and Kuramochi knew exactly what they meant and were enraged. You're going to betray us then? Do you think you become God? The Committee of 300 won't let you get away with this. Both of you members are members of the committee, but you betrayed it, didn't you? Maybe you should have waited for the Committee of 300 to be gone before you betrayed them. Nodose was staring at both of them. The look in his eyes was one of pure disgust. His cold gaze, like he was looking at something filthy, could mean only one thing. This whole time, he'd been using Inohana and Kuramochi for his own purposes. Fucking grass is green and the sky is blue, and brother, I hurt people. All of this was part of the plan. As is both of your deaths, right here. Bastard! Nonsense! Both Kuromochi and Inohana pointed their guns at Norose. You really thought this nigga gave you a loaded gun? Click, click. It's like that one fucking clip. Hey, you know what? Fuck this whole game. Go ahead and cut to the clip with the black show, and it's like click, click, click.
Sorry, Lee. Click, click, click. Nigga, you think I'm dumb enough to give your ass a loaded gun after the shit you just pulled? I'm the smart one. Remember, you just had to do shit your way. Just think I'm about to beg for my life. Cause I won't. All right, nigga.
Not nonsense. Fuck all the tension. This is stupid. They're stupid. Fuck all the tension that was being built up. They really thought that he would give them loaded guns. They didn't think, you know, we're some shady ass niggas. Maybe this shady ass nigga that we're helping get the power of fucking reality bending will betray us. What do you say fuck me for? Fuck I do. Doom doom. Bursts of fire erupted from the guns at the same time, and the noise of gunshots echoed. He really gave them loaded guns, what? But a vision of the future. It was they shot each other instead. This is so fucking stupid. For some reason, the two of them had pointed their guns at each other just before pulling the trigger. Death was instantaneous. Pull the trigger and go! The two of them had collapsed, identical holes in their skulls. Neither were breathing. They were now just lumps of meat. Noah, too, was in my hands. It appears you were too petty to understand what that means. You don't fucking say. The Norise's demonstration wasn't simply creating a pistol. He'd made the two of them think the other was no... Oh. Oh, you're good. Okay. You're that nigga. I'm sorry. I should have never talked shit about you. This was a part of the demonstration as well as their deaths. With Noah 2's power, it was simple. It was elementary, my dear artwork. There was Rimi Sakihara hanging crucified, third New-Gen murder. Rimi begged him to let Nanami go, and he agreed, on the condition that she'd become his hostage instead. Nanami's psychological attacks drained much of the life from her. Even now, she hung there helplessly. But when Norase approached her, her shoulders shook just a little. You never do anything yourself. You always get other people to do it for you. You're the petty one. Bitch! Don't you ever fucking speak up to me like that. Notice's palm struck her across the cheek. Then he grabbed her jaw and forced her to look at him. Her expression was dead, but there was still a bright, burning light in her half-opened eyes. Why don't you call Takumi Nishijo for help? He whispered in her ear. Leave him out of this. Which him are you referring to? Both of them. Either one would serve my purposes just fine. The creator of IR2 or his perfect copy. Both of them have monstrously strong powers. With their code samples, Noah 2 could be even more complete. More powerful than God. Hey, let's not get too crazy now. Rimi looked down, the pain on her face. Nodose tore his hand away from her jaw, and looked up at Noah 2 with a satisfied smile on his lips. Now call to them. Either of them. I'll be here to welcome them. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. If anything, he was looking forward to it. Looking forward to Takumi Nishijo overcoming the trial that he laid out for him and coming here. The D-sword was my light as I walked through the dark tunnel. I found myself walking faster. I'd never walked through a train tunnel before. I knew there weren't any trains coming, but still I kept looking in front of me and behind me to make sure. The distance between Shinsen Station and Shibuya was less than a minute by the train. It should be less than a kilometer away. Fortunately, the Inokashira line tunnel hadn't collapsed completely. It felt like I could make it to Shibuya Station without too much trouble. There was one thing bothering me, though. What Kozue had said before I left, she told me this. There are lots of really icky, wormy minds waiting for you. Kozue can't help you, but... Be careful, Takumi. Icky, wormy minds, whatever that meant. Be careful. I could assume they weren't friendly. I was starting to get scared. I was really lonely. I was here alone in this pitch black tunnel. I mean, the light, the artwork shows the emergency lights on, so I don't think it's pitch black, but yeah, whatever, dumbass. The idea of something awful waiting for me terrified me. I thought for a moment about turning back and heading to Shibuya Station via the surface. It was a tempting idea, but I couldn't afford to lose that much time. I drove away the fear by thinking about Rimi's smile. I held the D-sword in front of me to light up the tunnel. The red light was eerie, and it just made me feel more afraid. Suddenly, something fell off. It felt like I caught a glimpse of something strange. I looked around harder to see what it could be. Then there, in the tunnel, 10 meters ahead of me, I saw something sticking out of the ground. I looked closer. It wasn't just sticking out of the ground. It was 20 centimeters tall, and it was a Sedaton figure. What the hell? What was an anime figure doing here? It was completely out of place. This dark subway tunnel. A train line connecting two stations. Most people would never be allowed in here their entire lives, and there in the middle of the tracks was an anime figure. It was my favorite version too, the post-awakening version. Her chest was smashed in. Was that my figure? The one I dropped in the confusion at Scramble Crossing? What was it doing here? And it was staring straight up with a seductive smile on his face, looking at me. What is Seta doing here? So that's what I look like to you, Taki. See, look. Even now, he isn't not a loser. He's still a fucking loser. But he's just locked the fuck in, and that's what I love. It was a voice. It was Seta's voice, the way I always imagined in my head. Well, whatever. In the time it took for me to blink, she'd grown from a figure to full human size. Low-key, I'm fucking... Never mind, I just remembered she's in high school. I don't think a real human would do that. Her wave... I don't think a real human would do that. Was this my delusion? Come on, Taki, let's play! I heard a voice behind me. I turned around in surprise. It was the other Sedaton, with her nipples still poking into the... Oh my god, dude. Ugh! Just forget about Rimi. Not just behind me, to my left, to my right. The Sedatons were multiplying. They were pouring... Hey, I like that the rest of them are his favorite version, but then, you know, there's the one from the version he had in the beginning, the pre-awakening... Whatever. I watched them, feeling seriously creeped out before too long. Oh my god! That's a lot of Setas. The 100 Sedatons surrounded me, speaking in unison. That's what you want, right? Dork! One of the Sedatons in front of me charged with a smile on her face. She had his hammer in her slender arms. She was swinging it at me. Bitch! The impact was real. When I blocked through the D-sword, I could feel it travel through the blade and into my body. She did hard. My hands felt like they were gonna go numb. I could even feel the pain. Then I understood. This was real. It wasn't a delusion. All of them were real booted. All of them were my enemy. If you don't play with me, I'll smash you flat! If you're my wife, let me through. No way! Then, I just have to force my way through. I gripped the sword tight. The flames decorating the handle burned brighter. More red light started coming from the sword. Nah! I swung at her. At my wife. The blade had no weight. It traveled smoothly, right along the path I wanted it to travel. Even now, this nigga is still a loser. Love it. Bitch, and it sliced her in half. There was no sensation of cutting through flesh or bone. It barely took any strength at all. Seta's sexy body was cut clean in half, diagonally, and fell to the ground in a spurt of blood. Even her organs were realistic. They were a nasty, glistening pink. I looked away. I'm sorry, Seta. I killed my favorite anime character with my own hands. For an otaku, nothing could be more painful. But still, I had to keep going. You're so strong! That's my Taki! I love you when you're like this, Taki. Make me feel even better! Let's play! I'll tear you apart! This is so much fun! Each of the Setas was saying something different. Their voices were a flood of sound that threatened to swallow me. I needed to stop thinking of them as Seta. I told myself that they weren't her. I sliced the Setas, blocking my path so that I could move forward. Get out of the way! A flash of red light moving in an arc. A slicing blade in the darkness. I swung my blade horizontally and killed 4 of them in a single motion. Taki! One of them grabbed me from behind, an arm wrapped around my neck in something like a sleeper hold. I could feel— oh. Let me go! Another Seta tried to grab my leg. I stabbed the D sword through her face. Her pretty smile melted, leaving a hole behind. It hurt to breathe. I was being strangled. I was going to suffocate. Come on, nigga, you gotta do it like this! Put your back into it. I won't let you cheat on me! The metal club was right in front of my face. I spun around, changing places with the Setaton strangling me. My back was to both of them now. Bitch! The one holding me relaxed her grip. Forget about Rini! I shook the Setaton strangling me off and then spun around again, swinging the D-sword. 3 Setatons were running toward me, my sword severed their legs. They all fell forward at once, and I stopped over their bodies and kept going. I love strong men! I brought the blade down on Seta in the back, who was swinging her club around. She blocked it with her metal club. The weapon cut through the club and her brain too. The D-sword wasn't really cutting anything. It was melting anything it touched. No matter how hard, no matter how soft, no matter how cold, no matter how hot. The sword burned through anything it touched, vaporizing it instantly. Taki! It was a chilling sight. Countless anime characters, all with the same face, all calling my name. All trying to kill me. W scream. I let out a bestial scream to give myself the strength. And pierced the chest of the Seta to my front. She grabbed the D-sword. Her hand vaporized as soon as she touched it. I was stunned, fear welled up from deep inside my body. A horrid chill ran down my spine. My body was frozen in place. This wasn't Seta. Seta would never try to hurt me. Taki, you dork! Bitch! Ah, fuck! Right in the face. As I heard the sound of some ribs breaking, I could hear a nasty sound coming from the bones in my right arm too. An impact, echoing from within my own body. It blew me backwards. And then she blew me while I was against the wall. Damn, this bitch is crazy. My only way to get out is to use the ancient technique of cockbending. Meeting, huh? I hit my head hard. My vision started to go black. Let's lock arms! Her metal club came down at high speed and smashed into me. Bitch! My left arm turned into a meat paste at the elbow. It took a big chunk of the concrete wall with it too. My arm! My arm! Taki, I won't let you get away. Another club came at my legs. I had no strength at all in my right hand. Even moving it a little caused tremendous pain to echo in my brainstem. But I ignored the pain. I slashed out with the D-sword anyway. It ripped through the club easily. I could feel it scream from the lips in the pain. I left that Setaton in front of me. I pushed the D-sword into her chest and yanked it out. Seta's blood was all over my hands. Even though she was an anime character, her blood was still warm. My mind was growing numb. The only thing I could feel was pain. I wanted to shut it out, but I couldn't as long as I felt this pain. I'm getting crazy, Kirk. Thick red blood was pouring from my crushed left hand. Hey! It's like he's a mirror of anatomy. Even holding the D-sword with my right hand was painful. My bones ached so badly, I thought I would pass out. I realized I was sweating from my entire body. The drops were getting in my eyes and making them sting. My vision was going blurry, the Zetas were rushing towards me, getting close. Their happy laughter echoed in my ears, shaking my eardrum. Suddenly a thought came to me. With these kinds of injuries, I might not last more than a few hours. But that was fine, I was a delusion. By tomorrow I'd disappear anyway. It didn't matter how badly I was hurt. As long as I could save Remy. As long as I could destroy Noah too. Didn't he tell you that you're still human and that you're real booted by other people? I mean, you might die, but you probably won't. If they wanted to take part of my body, I'd gladly give it to them. So, get out of the way. The club came at me once more. I thought about dodging it, but the exhaustion and pain slowed me down. Okay, how's he gonna get out of this? The world shook. I blacked out. It was dark before, but now I couldn't see anything. I rolled, and as I rolled, I checked to make sure the D-sword was still in my aching right hand and tried to stand up with my crushed left hand. Exposed bones smacked into the bare ground. What felt like an electric shock ran through my body. For a second, I passed out. I woke up immediately. My vision came back. My body was floating. My legs touched the ground. I used centrifugal force from being knocked back to charge into the crowds of Zetas. I swung my right hand. My bones creaked. Blood spurted from the Zetas. The sound of blood hung in my nose. Was my blood the Zetas' blood? I couldn't tell anymore. It was all mixed together. I was covered in blood. Even my blurry vision had turned red. I kept lashing out with the sword. I didn't know how many I'd killed now, or how long it would take. I felt like the Zetas were multiplying infinitely. A Zeta clung to my right hand. I flailed the D-sword, dragging her along with it. But she didn't fall off. She yanked my arm in an impossible direction. Oh, fuck! The bone jerked out from its socket. I couldn't move it anymore. The D-sword was going to fall from my hands. I felt the vomit flowing out from my stomach. I gagged on it. The taste of blood spread through my mouth. Maybe one of my broken ribs had damaged my organs. A million kinds of pain were devouring my body. I was going crazy. I wished. I couldn't stop myself from wishing. I wanted to be free from this. I knew it was impossible, so I didn't expect it to work. Want me to wipe the sweat off you? The smiling Zeta was staring into my eyes. I kicked her in the jaw hard and forced my rapidly numbing right arm to move as best as it could. It felt like my nerves were being set on fire. My whole body was hot. The pain from the exposed bone had spread not just into my arm, but to my whole body, like my body was shattering. I heard what sounded like the scream of a dying animal. I wondered whose voice it was before realizing it was my own. My fingers on my right hand moved just a little. I picked up the D-sword, a delusion. The image of tying it with a string. In an instant, it became real. And the D-sword was bound to my hand with a string. I had to go to Remy, past this darkness. Taki, why won't you stay with me? I spat out the blood that was pooling in my mouth. I was surrounded by piles of Zeta corpses. More Zetas were kicking over them to get at me. A ripple appeared in the pool of blood. I slowly shook my head. Because, Zeta, you're... I bit down hard on my teeth. And right after that, all the Zetas instantly turned 2D. The ones standing became life-size pop-ups. The ones who were on the ground became Dakimura covers. They turned to where they belonged, the two-dimensional world, and they never moved again. Dust has to return to dust. I'll be joining you too, before long. I bowed my head just for a little, as if in silent prayer, while a part of me was thinking about what bloodstained Kura versions of the Zeta Dakimura were never gonna sell again. I felt like I was about to pass away at any moment, so I bit down on my hard lip to stay awake. I started to walk through the dark tunnel once more. His hard lip? I'm sorry, what the fuck?